Welcome back to TF Custom Shaving Brushes, lads. How are we? Now, I have had to change, just before we get too far into the stream, I have had to change a lot of the settings on the audio video mixer as well. So I'm hoping that I've managed to get the balances right between music and voice. But if there's any issues, just let me know, and then once I see where the levels need to be at on the monitor in front of me here, then we can work it back from there, because it is a little bit different to how I had it set up previously. Hopefully it's all good, hopefully it's nice and clear, hopefully the music's clear, hopefully my voice is clear, but I won't really know because I can't do anything, I can't hear it here because of the, if I was to switch the voice on, I'd get feedback through it and it would just be unlistenable. So I'm sort of hearing it, well, I'm letting you hear it for the first time with the new settings, so we'll see how we go, guys. Now, about last night, I must apologise. I came out here yesterday and I got the blank, as you can see, I've got the blank in the lathe here. I've got it all prepared. That was a square blank. I turned it all around. I squared up the ends and everything, got it all ready for turning. And then come the usual time, I come out here, tried to set it all up, nothing. And I tried and I tried and I tried, and it just, the network wouldn't compute, it wouldn't hook up to the audio video mixer, which runs everything. And I thought it was something to do with my routers, so I went inside and I reset the routers because I've got two in there. And I checked them, and then I mucked around with cables, and I just couldn't get anywhere with it. I tried resetting the static IP address and all that sort of thing, and I just couldn't get anywhere. So the voice is a bit high, yeah? Let me just turn the voice down a bit then. Let me see how that is. You just need to tell me. Hang on, that's gone up, that's gone the other way. Let me see how that is. How's that then? Grey Dog, how are you, buddy? So that's the voice. I've turned the voice down there. Just let me know if that's okay now. And obviously the music in the background. I want the music to be heard, but not to be overtaken. That's better. So the voice it's a good level though, loud enough so that you don't have to have your volume all cranked all the way up on your computer. Cool. And the music's okay as well, lads? Okay. Yeah, so anyway, look, cut a long story short, I sort of gave up on it last night, and I thought, oh Jesus, how am I going to do this? And I went into YouTube to try and see if I could reschedule straight away, and you can't reschedule it in YouTube. You've got to basically delete it and then start again. So I had no way of getting out there to sort of tell you other than probably dropping messages or something like that to you. But anyway, so I come out this morning, I thought, well, I'm going to have to tackle this and find out what's going on, because I was starting to think there was maybe a fault in the audio video mixer, because if you remembered in that last stream, it had an issue with the data rate not reading correctly. It was stuck on a very, very low data rate, but everything streamed okay. So I thought, oh, maybe there's something wrong with that. Anyway, I thought this morning, I got up and I thought I better have a look at that. And anyway, I went down, and my first thoughts were, look, check the network cables. So I went down to Officeworks, grabbed a couple of little network cables, come back, plugged them in, and bang, up she went. But to add fuel to the fire, I took a really bad rheumatoid flare-up last night as well. So my hands and my wrist and fingers and everything were just, I was just in agony. So I probably wouldn't have been able to turn last night anyway. It would have probably been coming on and having a bit of a chat, or you know, question and answers session, you know. But anyway, it's still a bit sore. It's my right hand. It's still a bit sore. I've been taking steroids. I've had steroids yesterday and today, and I'll probably have to take another one tomorrow. So we'll see how we go, fellas. If it does start to get too sore, I might have to just have a bit of a rest away from the lathe, because that's the one that I hold the tool with as well. So, but we'll see how we go. Hopefully it feels a lot better. It's still all really swollen. and I'm sore in my hand and in my wrist, but you know, we'll persevere, we'll see how we go. Hopefully the steroids tomorrow. I think I take a course for 3 days and then they jump back off it again, you know. But anyway, we'll see how we go, fellas. If the sound's all good, then I'll kick on. So the music's about halfway up on the green, and the voice is about halfway up in the yellow. So, and then overall the program out is sitting up there to get the maximum volume out. I could probably drop that back a little bit, which might balance it all out again, but I'll leave that for another stream. So what I've got is I've got that Chameleon hybrid Burl resin blank on the lathe, the one that had the green in it, with a little bit of the green holographic in it as well. So that's the one I'm going to turn tonight. And yeah, so I'm going to try and turn that one tonight. We may not get it finished tonight, but if we don't get it finished, I might even roll it over into Thursday night's one, which will be tomorrow night, because I'm doing a little bit of just making up some sacrificial pieces to mount some other resin blanks on it that I've got to do for Sarjan from Rhodian Knots. So yeah, so we'll see how we go, alright? So first up, I'm thinking that this one, I'm thinking that I might put the cashmere in it. I think the cashmere will look quite nice because the green's such a light green, and it's got a little touch of sort of that whitishy colour in it as well. So I'm thinking if I put the cashmere in it, I'm thinking the cashmere might look quite nice. But we'll see anyway once I get it bored out, because it'll definitely be a 26mm going in it. Excuse me. So we'll see how we go once we get it turned. We can try a couple of the different knots in it and we'll see which one is going to look nice. I do have a 2-band badger there as well, which, you know, again, because it's got the burl in it, would probably look okay as well. But I was thinking making a synthetic one, because I haven't made a synthetic one of these. So just it gives people an option once I list them all on the website, you know. So I've probably got about 6 or 7 brushes inside that haven't gone up on the website yet. So I'll probably do a drop of them and I'll just drop the whole lot in one hit along with this one. But anyway, let's get started, fellas. And like I said, if you just bear with me with the sound, hopefully I shouldn't have to touch it now, but once I start up the lathe and that, we might have to just change it a little bit, you know, either voice or music. But once I get to know where the new settings are, I should be fine. And I'm thinking that I did play around with the settings in the audio, so I'm hoping that the sound is maybe a little bit clearer, but you guys will be able to tell me all that anyway once we get going. So alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one. I'm just going to drill this one out now with a 25mm Forstner bit. Now with this handle, I'm still working with this broken handle as well. I did manage to get onto them, and they sent me out supposedly in the post 2 new handles, so I got one to put on it and one as a spare. I thought they might have been here today actually. I was hoping they were going to be here today just to save my hand a little bit, but probably not going to be here now until maybe tomorrow, or you know, whenever it gets here. I mean, they're only on the north side of Brisbane, but post at the moment, so we'll see how we go anyway. Okay, Samuel, how are you, mate? I was checking the subscribes on YouTube the other day. Did you subscribe, Samuel? Because I was sure I was sitting on 74, and I'm still needing one to hit the 75. So I'm not sure whether you actually subscribed correctly or not. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. If anybody is in the stream that hasn't subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. I need to get over there. Down below here somewhere, if you can subscribe, hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell as well. Ding that little bell, and you'll be notified when any videos come up. All right. Oh, you've subscribed early. That's no worries then, mate. All good. All right, well, let's get started, eh? So I'm just going to go in nice and slowly to start with, and then I'll set it back on 0. We'll get rid of the shavings. Start it up. Doesn't do my wrist any good hitting those handles on. Get that out of there. So how are we all? We all well? How's your day been? All right? Oh. I'm just going to get rid of the tool rest for a minute till we resize that hole for the 26mm. So we'll need to size out to about 27, just over 27 for the cashmere one. It's a little bit slow changing the height of this tool rest with us having to use the Allen key, but like I said, hopefully the other handles will come the next day or so. I hope so anyway. So Samuel's had a good day. That's good. Razor Barn. I see we've got about 9 in the concurrent viewers. Unless Grey Dog's doing his usual trick on 2 devices. Caught me out with that one. Just turn the speed up a bit. I'm just going to check that. Yeah, it's just that we're hitting timber and resin, so it's quite hard trying to break through the just clear that. Because the timber's stabilised, it's very hard. And we're on the bottom there anyway, so that should be okay. So what I'll do is I'll move that just out the way, and I'll just I'll rough up that, take that sharp edge off. Have a drink of my coffee. I'm thinking the cashmere will look quite nice in it. Still needs to go a little bit bigger yet, I think. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, that's a nice fit. I'm thinking the cashmere might look okay in this one, you know. Quite like that. I'll just measure what the loft is at that, because I set that in at about 55, so that's nice. I took that one in a little bit deeper this time than the previous ones, so it's not in only a mil or 2 deeper, so that'll be nice for the cashmere, I think. And I don't know what shape I'm going to make this one, to be honest. I might drop back to my more traditional shape. So, I'll just round off the end to start with. I'll probably have to drop that tool rest up a bit again. The sooner I get that other handle, the better. All right, let's fire away, eh? A little bit too close. So this is just to put the initial shape on the top. So I can then come in with the tool rest and just stabilise things up. Oh, I had a look at Grey Dog's. I didn't read them all. I didn't look at every post, but I had a look at some of the thread that Razor sent me for a link to Grey Dog's page where he's got a lot of his brushes up. I'll have a better look when I get a little bit more time. I was a bit pushed the last couple of days because of what happened with the stream last night. So trying to get everything sorted and fixed up, and so I'll have a better look when I get more time, Grey Dog. Okay, let's have a look at that. Well, that's good because we're getting a little bit of timber on the top of that one too there, which is quite nice, and it's sort of well stuck in with the resin, so that's good. Okay, so I need my little Allen key again. It's really painful having to do this, but anyway, it is what it is, eh? I think it must be something that wears, you know, fairly quickly on them, because when I rang him up, I asked him for a new cam lock for the tool rest, and he says, "Oh, is it just the black bit?" And I says, "Yep, it's just the black bit." So he obviously knew they do wear out, you know. Okay. I'm just going to go a little bit more with that just before I bring the tool rest in, because I see like a little tiny little bubble in the top there. We'll get rid of them before we go any further. Nearly there. Actually, that's gone. There's just the one little one there now. still there. So we'll go a little bit more. Yep. It's just like a little pinhole in there. I just want to see if I can get it out. Even if I've got to drill a little bit deeper, I'm happy with that, but I just don't want to have a little pin bubble in the top of the handle. That's it, she's gone. So I'll just check that depth again now. Yep, that's still good. Cool. Alright, we'll bring it back around here now. We can bring the tool rest in to give us a little bit of additional support now. So we'll stick it a bit there. Don't want to hit that too hard with my hand. That's my... Right. So I'm thinking of doing... just jumping it back to what I normally do, the traditional type style that I like to do. I'm going to drop back to that for this one, and I may just change the bottom slightly. So I'm going to go there for the top section. That line there, just let me go to that shot there for you. That line there is just where I've rounded off the blank. That's the line I'm going to work to for that top section of the handle, and then I'll probably end up being in down here somewhere for the bottom. But I'm going to start just doing the top section for now. So bring that tool rest out a touch. And I'm going to start about there. Ryan, how are you, buddy? let's have a look at that and see how it's coming up. Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I'm just going to clean up that edge on that, what will end up being the ring. And then we'll do the same just here, just to clean it up. Nice, that's clean, that's it, that's nice. That's going to be just a nice mix there actually. Okay, so again I'm going to go in. Just check that tool rest for height. Yeah, that should be okay, I think. I'm just going to try and see if I can get a bigger undercut with the spindle gouge. I'm not sure how sharp my spindle gouge is. I didn't sharpen the tools today. Oh no, she's cutting all right. Maybe just a little bit sharper again. Okay, we'll go in with this carbide now and we'll just start doing a bit more shaping. Okay, needs to go in more, but I just want to try and get a rough idea now from the length of the handle. I might actually just do a mock-up and just sit the knot in there so I can have a good look from the top down and see how it's looking in proportion. And just give that another little touch. Yeah, I might thin it out a bit more first. So we'll bring the tailstock back in again. That's better. Yeah, we're getting just enough of that burl in there. It's actually starting to look quite nice. I can probably see a lot more than what you guys are seeing, but yeah, I must say I'm fairly happy with it so far, the way the burl and the resin is blending in. We're getting some nice shape in it, and now I'm just going to try and determine my overall length for the handle again. So I'm thinking probably around there. Let me just put a mark there, and I'll just check what that handle length is. Yeah, I can probably go a little bit more, which would be in my favour, so I'll go to about there, I think. I'll just stop that again, because I do need to drop the tool rest right down for the parting tool. And that should be okay. I think I might just give that just a little bit of a touch up on the diamond card before we start. Right. Should be fine. Okay, we'll set the bottom. Give it a little bit of a run there. Okay, now I need to lift the tool rest back up again, so I'll just stop the lathe again while I do it with my gammy hand. Can hardly put any pressure on my wrist. Right, that should be okay there. Do it. Now we'll just put a little bit more shape into that hollow hay. Good. Let's have a look. Nice. Okay, now I'm just going to, if I put these back to the top shot, I'm just going to reduce this down a little bit, just off here. It's just a little bit bigger than I want it to be at this point in time. Everywhere else I'm quite comfortable with. We've got a nice blend of everything there. So we'll just reduce that down a bit nice and slowly. Just to make it look more proportional, that's all. Because we have got a lot of material on the top there. And being synthetic, it's not going to hold a lot of water like some of the badgers will. But we've mainly got resin up the top of this one anyway, so the resin's much stronger sometimes than the timber. You get a fault line or whatever in the timber and it can let go on you, but like I said, these are all stabilised anyway, so it's much stronger to start with. And that other lot of stabilised blanks that I started some time ago, they're still in the pot submersed in resin, so they're going to be really saturated when I take them out. I mean, they've been under vacuum 3 or 4 times, and then they've been left to soak submerged. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that sharp edge off that one there, and a little bit more off that one as well, just very gently. That's better. And that's me, guys. I'm reasonably happy with that. Actually, I might reduce that one down a little bit more. So what I'll do is I'll come in there, and then we'll reduce it a little bit more there, and a little bit more here. I'm just tweaking it where I think it needs it now, lads. Nigel, how are you, buddy? Brett's in as well. G'day, Brett. So there we go. I think that's going to come up quite nicely, actually, guys. I'm much happier with the proportions now between the top and the base. So now all I've really got to do now is just start sanding that. I'm just going to give that a little bit more of a touch up there, just to round it off and finish it off. See how that looks now? Much better. So as you can see there, it's got a nice mix of timber. Let me just zoom in on that for you. So you've got a nice mix of the Mali burl there, and you can see how shiny it is already just off the tool, and that's just with it being stabilised, you know. And then when I come round to the, still got to take a little bit more there, when I come round to the edge, you can see we've got a nice bit of shape there. Then we've got the green chameleon in there with the green holographic, and you can see we've got the natural edge inside, the little points in the ball, the outer skin of the ball, pointing up into the brush, giving it some highlights and different greens in there as well. And then we've got a nice mix through here on this side as well, and we'll have a mix on the bottom of resin and burl as well. So it's come up quite nice. It should look nice when it's all sanded up. So I'm just going to take another little bit here. That's got it. That's better. Okay, so I can take this away now. For now, I'll go in with the parting tool a little bit, I think. Just, no, I don't need to. I can get it from there. Okay. So, let's do a little bit of sanding, fellas. And I'll just blow some of this dust here through to the other side. Just to clear myself up a bit. I'll have a drink of my coffee. And then we'll start some sanding, eh? So we'll slow that down a bit. Chappie, how are you? South Africa? How are you, mate? How are things in South Africa, mate? suppose now's a good time to throw it up. I might as well throw my please subscribe up. So I'll just chuck it down in the bottom right there. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Click the little bell as well. Ding that little bell and you'll be notified of any time I go live or any time I post up another video. If you've got time to watch it, you can, and if you haven't, you can watch it later on. Let me get back to the chart there. Yeah, I think COVID's pretty hectic all over the world, mate, but I can imagine it'd be quite grim over your neck of the woods there. Whereabouts in South Africa are you, mate? Okay, just give this a little bit of a touch up by hand now. Of course, this is my sore wrist as well. I'm right-handed, so everything I do with my right hand. How's that music and voice going, lads? All right? Still a good mix? Oh, Durban. We had relatives living in Johannesburg for many, many years. I don't know if they're still there. We haven't caught up with them in a long, long time. I'd imagine they would still be there. I mean, basically they had set their life up over there, so. So we're in the slow boring part here, doing all the sanding. Brisbane, Australia here. We've got Canberra, we've got the States. Sam, where is Samuel? Actually, I'll just zoom that camera back a little bit, lads, because it's probably a little bit too close for you all. That's probably okay there, and we'll take you to camera 2 there. You can see it from there as well as I spin it round. Yeah, I'll be sure to have a look at your channel, mate. What do you do on your channel? Bit of everything, or are you in something particular? Good, mate. Thanks, Brett. I don't think you were in the channel earlier, but I had a lot of issues. That's why I couldn't stream last night. But I've got it all sorted again. But I've reset all the video and the audio as well. So it's just I'm just trying to get my new bearings now as to where everything's at a nice balanced level. Yeah, Brisbane, that's where I am, Brisbane. I'm on the south side of Brisbane, so not too far away from the New South Wales Queensland border. And obviously Darwin's away up the top end. Top end and further over. Okay, that's the first grit out the way. So general wood turning and much the same as me, but I sort of make a lot of shaving brushes. Grey Dog's a turner as well. Grey Dog does shaving brushes as well, and then probably a little bit of general turning as well. So Grey Dog's in the States. Some of the guys, Brett and Razor and Sam, are wet shaving guys, so they like to see how the brushes are being made. Fairly loyal followers of my channel in May. Brett and Razor have a few of my brushes that they use fairly regular in their shaving routines. And I think whoever gets this one's going to be one happy chappy, because what I'm seeing of this one's coming up lovely. Obviously we'll apply a CA finish to this as well, even although the barrel is stabilised, but I think it will come up nice, I think. We do have a little bit of tear out here and there though, so not so much tear out, I don't think. It's probably been hollows in the timber and where the resin's filled. So I do want to try and make sure we get on top of that. Finish my coffee. It's probably cold now. Okay, that should do that one. On to the next one. Shaping up nicely, fellas, shaping up nicely. T-Man is in the house, eh? Yes, it is, mate. It's good, eh? People from different avenues and different backgrounds and different countries and different interests. And as you can hear, I'm a what they call a Scozzie. So I came over from Scotland to Australia in 1982, been here ever since. Both our sons were born here, so they're Australian, we're now Australian. Even although I speak with a Scottish accent. Well, a weaker Scottish accent compared to what I used to have anyway. Jappy, do you have regular streaming days or nights on your YouTube channel, or just whenever you feel like it? Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Aberdeenshire, yeah. Aberdeen's a nice place. A lot of nice places over there. It's a nice country, beautiful country. Just the weather. A little sponge pad so I can get a little bit more pressure in there because my hand's pretty weak at the moment. I'm just trying to get in where I can to tidy up any of the bits that I'm not too happy with. all good in there. We've still got a couple of grits to go yet too, so okay. So you're not streaming at the moment. Yeah, that was my problem I had here. We had very poor, even although I was on cable, but the upload speeds were very, very poor. So you couldn't stream. And we just recently had the NBN put on, and I've got a better speed pack with my service provider now. So I'm able to stream quite easily now, and got plenty upload to be able to do that. It's the upload that you need for the streaming, not so much the download. My download's still higher than my upload, but I think I have round about 40 megabytes per second upload, which is plenty. At the moment we're only using about 9 megabytes per second, and that's full high definition at 60 frames per second, so it does that easy. Okay, I think we're getting there with that grit now. We'll throw that one away, we'll get on to the next one. And then the fun part starts, the wet. All the guys like the wet. That's when we start to get to see what the blank's going to look like. Can't really see too much from that shot now, can you? Because the lath's a little bit low in the screen, but that's the head-on shot anyway. I'll put these back to that one for a sec. So you have a woodworking website where you display your products. Jappy? That's just my phone pinging in the backgrounds, fellas. Oh, okay. know, this bowl could probably just be polished, you know. She's bloody hard. And because it's saturated in the resin and stabilized under vacuum, it's probably it probably doesn't need a CA finish. But what I'll do is I'll buff it. Oh, we'll see. I might put a couple of coats of CA on it just to make sure the surface is coated. And then we might go from there. I don't think I'll be putting a lot of coats on it though. I don't think it's going to need it, to be honest. I mean, when you stabilize it under vacuum and you allow it to soak for many days, the resin basically, once it comes out of the oven, the timber, sorry, when it comes out of the oven, it's basically baked hard, the same as resin. So it's only if you get pockets that are still soft that you really need to be concerned, but this is solid. I'm at 400 grit now. I'm just about to go to 600, and then I go to 1000 wet, and then I go up through the micromesh pads, which takes it up to 12,000, and then I buff it and polish it to finish. So that's the 400 done now. I'm just going to go straight to 600 now. And you'll notice I'm sanding in different directions with every grit as well. It's what takes all the time, keeping going through the grits, going through the different directions, but it all assists in the overall finish, you know. Yeah, I start at 1000 with a wet. I do have various sanding abrasives as well and paste that I can use, but it just depends how the brush is coming up, you know. Some you have a little bit more work with than others, but yeah, so I go up to 600 grit and just the dry sanding, and then I jump to 1000 with the wet. And I give it a fairly good sanding with the wet too. And then I go through the micromesh pads from there, which takes it up to 12,000 grit. and then I obviously buff and polish with a buffing compound right at the end as well, just to put that final buff and polish on. No worries, mate. You have a good night, or good day, whatever it is over there. And yeah, I stream every, normally Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sunday nights at 7 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. The only reason I'm streaming tonight is I missed my stream last night because of technical issues, so here we are tonight. But anyway, nice to have you in the stream, mate. We'll catch up with you some other time, Jappy. Movie star. There was a song about a movie star once, wasn't there? Cheers, mate. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I think we're in for a treat with this one, fellas. Yeah, this one's going to be a bit of a star, I reckon, fellas. I just want to make sure I give it a good sand with this first, and then we'll go on to the pads. It's probably a little bit fast as well. Nah, the wrist's a bit weak, mate. It's a bit sore, but it's mainly in my wrist now. I mean, it started off in my pointer finger. Started off in that. Then it went to my thumb. Then it went to my wrist. Then it went up to my my right shoulder. And now it's just sort of, the shoulder's not too bad. It's just my wrist's not recovering very well, but I've had 2 days on the 2 days on the prednisone now, so hopefully it starts to dissipate by tomorrow, because tomorrow's the third day, and I don't like being on the prednisone steroids for too long, you know, because I got to take them every time I have a flare up. It just gets too painful if I don't, and everything starts to swell up. So I like to try and catch it when it starts, but it's one of those things, you know, sometimes it comes on and you get a light flare, and then it goes away. So I mean, I don't like jumping on the prednisone for that, you know, because you know, it's no good taking steroids, and I've had enough of them in the last few years to not want to continue taking them, you know. But I've got to take them when the need's there. So you got to try and be alert to when you feel it coming on. And it's always hard though, because you never know if it's going to lead to a full-blown one or if it's just going to be a small one, you know. Nah, this is me, mate. I used to work full time, and I gave it up about 3-4 years ago. I was actually I was travelling all over the world with my job. I'd done that for about 7 years, and then I started having some health issues, and then I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and that sort of put a be all and end all to it, because I was doing so much travel. I could be anywhere and I could have a flare up and I'd be in an absolute agony. So I ended up giving my job up, and I had a little craft pen making business where I was selling a lot of components to other craft makers and pen makers. And I'd done that when I was working actually, but I still had it for the 3 or 4 years where I wasn't working, so that generated a bit of income for me. But then I got into the shaving brushes, and I sort of dropped off the pens, and business was getting tough, you know, because very little margins and stuff in them, and it just wasn't worth it. So in the end, it meant I had to be here sort of 6 days a week. You know, I had the shop on the front of the house, and I was doing online as well, and it was just getting too much, and the profit margins just weren't there, so I decided to give it away. So I've pretty much slowly shut the shop down over the last 12-18 months. I've still got the website up and running, but it's only got a few small products on it now. Very little, to be honest. And I'm more focusing on the shaving brushes, but I don't do it, you know, I don't sort of do it as a full-time thing. I do it as a bit of a hobby. And I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy doing the streaming. But you know, it doesn't generate an income for me, put it that way, but what it does do is it lets me keep going with the hobby. And if I can keep going with the hobby, that's all I really want it to do, and if I get a little bit of extra here and there, then it's all good, you know. Pays for some of the equipment and the stuff that I need to be able to make the brushes, you know. So so it's always good when I sell a few brushes. And that's, I mean, one of the things, I mean, a lot of people have said to me, oh, you should, you know, do it as a business, but it takes the fun out of it when it's a business then. I mean, I enjoy doing it when I feel like doing it. That's when I get more creative with it as well. There's nothing worse than, you know, not being in the mood for it. But, you know, you've got to go out there because it's a job and you've got to knock so many out, or, you know, whatever. I just enjoy it. Each brush takes as long as it takes, and obviously I don't charge fully from my time, because I mean the time that I put into some of the brushes I'd never recover that if I was to try and put that price on the brush. So it's really just to keep me with a little bit of pocket money, and like I said, keeps me buying new pigments and colours and resins and tools if I need them. Not that I really need much tools now, because I've virtually got everything that I'll ever need. But yeah, it just keeps it going, you know. Keeps me afloat with it, so to speak. I mean, there is people out there that make shaving brushes for a living. You know, I don't know how to do it. You know, I couldn't do it like that. You know, the way you've got to turn out 20 or 30 brushes in a month or whatever the case may be, I couldn't do that. I just enjoy doing it, like I said, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, when I want to do it, without having any pressures on me to have to get them done. And I mean, I've got a couple of customer brushes that I need to get on to make, but again, you know, I don't sort of push anything, and I don't sort of say to guys, well, you know, yeah, I'll have it done for you in a couple of days. They get it done when I get to it, when I feel like doing it, you know. And I think the end result is that they get a better brush, they get a better handle, because you know, it's done when I want to do it and when I feel like doing it. So the outcome's always better in that regard. I mean, there's some people out there, you know, that's all they want to do is make a few quick bucks, and they look for ways of doing it. Shaving brushes might be a way for them to do it. Good on them. I'm not in it for the short term or the big bucks. I'm in it for because I enjoy it. And the YouTube thing is just, I mean, I enjoy that as well. I enjoy, you know, chatting with other people and getting ideas and other people's thoughts and opinions, and it's just all part of it. I'd have to sell a lot of brushes to pay for all the streaming equipment that I've recently purchased, But that's not what I'm about. You know, I had the money, so I've put it into it. Whether I get it back or not, I don't really care. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly, Nigel. I mean, it's, you know, like, there is people out there that just want to make a quick few bucks, and I'm not like that. I don't need to do that. I've got everything in life that I want in life now, and I don't need to. Like I said, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy being creative. I enjoy working with people to give them something that they want. And if it takes longer, it takes longer. Like I said, at the end of the day, the result will always be far better. Because you're doing it when you feel like doing it, and you don't feel that you have to do it. I mean, this brush is, this handle here has had hours spent in it already, you know, like, I had to select the burl, then I had to cut the burl, and then I had to wire brush the burl, then I've had to stabilise it in and out of resin for hours on end, let it steep, put it in the under vacuum in the chamber, then it had to go in the oven and be baked at 190 degrees for 45 minutes. That was just the burl part. And then when it came out, it had to then be have the chameleon put on it on the natural edge side. That had to sit for a day or two, and then after that it was then cast in resin. Then that had to be left to dry for a day or two. Then it was a square block. Then I turned it to round on the metal lathe first. And then I brought the blank over to the wood lathe, and here we are tonight. We're probably going to have, you know, 2 and a bit hours in this one, and I might not even get this one finished tonight. Just depend how we go with the CA. But we'll at least get it to a stage where you'll be able to see what it's going to look like finished. But I don't want to rush it, so it's all good. Yeah, I think Razor and Brett would have been my two biggest customers in the last month or two, or maybe a bit longer. Yeah, probably a bit longer than that. Nigel's had a couple of brushes off me as well. Yeah, well it does, but you've got to have a mix, mate. You know, some people don't like spending, you know, $280, $300 for a handle, for a brush. Others don't mind, but I like to have a bit of variety as well. I like to have some badgers. I mean, my 2-band badgers, I do well with them because they are a good knot. I've got one sitting here that I could put in this, but you know, I've not done a lot of synthetics and this type of thing, so I think the hybrid burls that I've done have all been either rhodiums or 2-bands. So I thought tonight might be a nice opportunity to put a nice synthetic in, and that'll keep the, although I've put hours and hours into the handle, but that'll keep the cost of the brush down as well, because the minute you start thinking of putting a rhodium in it, although they are one of the best, well, I'd say probably the best knot available at the moment as far as hand-tied knots are concerned, but you know, the minute you put one of them in it, you've got $150 knot in there, you know. So they are beautiful, they're absolutely luxurious, they're the best money can buy, but not everybody wants to spend that kind of money, you know. So give a little bit of variety. I won't make any money out of this one with the amount of labour I've put in it, but hey, what else would I have been doing? I don't smoke. I hardly drink. I used to like my drink, but medication put an end to that. But I still have one every now and again, either a rum or a nice glass of red. I like a nice Shiraz here and there. Okay, so let's get that away. How are we all going in there, fellas? Are we all hanging in there okay? Haven't put you to sleep yet? With all the sanding, I must say it's not one of my favourite tasks in working on the lathe, or you know, woodworking in general. Sanding's not one of my most enjoyed parts of woodworking or wood turning, but it's got to be done, and it pays off in the end, you know, so it's worth putting the effort in. I'm just struggling a little bit tonight because my wrist, I can't get the pressure on anything with my wrist, and I'd be absolutely hopeless with my left hand trying to sand, so I'll just persevere with it. I'll probably suffer later on when I go to bed. This is all the same burl that I've been using for the hybrid since I started doing these, the Chameleon hybrids with the holographic. It's the same burl, it's an Australian Mallee burl. I've got quite a fair few pieces sitting in a tub over there that haven't been stabilised yet. I've probably got about another 8 or 9 pieces sitting in the stabilising chamber submersed at the moment. And I've still got probably 4 blanks sitting there, all hybrids waiting to go. So I do have one, I don't know, T-Man, are you waiting on a handle from me? Or am I mixing you up with someone else? Because I do have a hybrid to make. Oh look, I mean, I've got a few different sizes, but I think 26, 28 is a nice size. 26 is my more common one. That's the one that I like in my brushes as well. I think you can work the lather better with a 26 mil, and I prefer to use a 26 because I can put the lather where I want the lather with a 26 mil. If you want luxury, obviously if you're spending money on a really expensive hand-tied knot, then I think you want something that's a bit more plush, like a 28 or a 30 mil. But I think 30 mil is a bit of an overkill for a normal brush. 26 is the good one for me, and you know, 28's reasonable as well. I mean, if you want something a bit more, then 28's a nice one, but 30 mil just goes up. To me, they're just too big on the face. Yeah, I agree with you, Nigel. I mean, it's like I said, I think when you start getting into 30 mils, it's just too much, you know, like it's too big. You can't put the lather where you want the lather. And I mean, a lot of guys throw the lather on, but I mean, it's, I don't think it necessarily gives you a better shave just because you've got a ton of lather all over your face. I think you can make up a nice lather, and if you're putting it on in the right places and where you want it and how thick you want it with a 26 or a 28, I think you get a better shave. But like I said, if you've got you know, if you've got the money to splash out and you want a really nice plush, then go a rhodium and go a 30 mil or a 28 or a 30 mil rhodium. They're just luxury, you know. But it's not the sort of thing I would pull out every day for a shave. It'd be once every now and again, you know. Right. And the other thing too is, I mean, knots are as good as how they're set as well. You know, if you set a knot correctly, based on how it feels, its size, you know, what the customer wants, you know, as far as face on the feel on the face, whether they're a face latherer, whether they're a bowl latherer. And I mean, you can set the knot differently. I mean, you know, you'd be amazed at how good or how bad you can make that knot perform if it's set properly. It's not just a case of drilling a hole and whacking a knot in, you know. You should be starting to see this one come through now, guys. She's starting to really clean up and smoothing out now. Oh geez, I'll tell you what, it's nice. Hey, this one's going to look a cracker. Yeah, the badges are, I mean, they are nice, mate. I mean, I've got more badges than I have anything else, but I do have a couple of synths. But to be honest with you, my synth that I use anytime, I mean, I'll only shave every now and again. Like I normally go a few days. I'm at home all the time. I'm not going out. I'm not going to work, you know. So I don't have to shave every day, although I do enjoy it when I do. But typically, if I'm just having a normal run-of-the-mill day shave, I just go straight for my simple little, I think it's actually a 24 or 26 mil synthetic, which is a Plissoft, and it can whip up a lather in no time, and I've got that lather on my face, and I mean, I just go straight to the face with the soap and the brush anyway, and it can whip it up on my face in no time, and I'm shaved in, you know, 10-15 minutes, you know. So and I've enjoyed it. It gives a nice shave. It puts plenty of lather on where you want it. I use a nice, reasonably mild razor, and 3 passes with the grain against the grain. With the grain across the grain and against the grain, and that's me done. And I get a perfect shave. So Brett gone, is he? I had to shave for years, Grey Dog, every day, and even in my last job, because I was seeing clients every day and I could be anywhere in the world, I always had to be smart and tidy and clean shaven. Well, I didn't have to be, but that was me, you know, business wise. And then when I gave up work, I just thought, nah, bugger it, why should I have to shave every day? You know, I don't have to. I'm not going anywhere, I'm only here. As you can see, I've got a 2 or 3 days growth on me at the moment. And it might go for another 2 or 3 days before I shave. Unless I like to shave before I go to my SES on a Wednesday night. So normally Wednesday afternoon I'll duck in the bathroom and go and have a shave, so I'm nice and clean to go to the SES. So, you know, maybe once a week, and sometimes in between if I feel like it. Can you see that, guys, in the shot there? Can you see the natural edge of the burl there? Like, look at that. They're like little mountains in there on the green hills, you know. And then we've got that green sparkly holographic in there, which really is nice. It just makes the handle. like I say, we've got a bit to go with this yet, so you know, I'm not going to run it on for too late tonight, guys. If you're comfortable hanging in there, I mean, I might go till, well, we're coming up close to 2 hours now. I might go another half hour or so. We'll see how close we are, but I might finish it in tomorrow's stream if we don't get it done tonight, And then that can be the first part of tomorrow night's stream. And then, because tomorrow night I'm going to be preparing some sacrificial blocks for putting in the chuck for mounting blanks that I'm doing for Surjan. But they're a little bit small in size by the time I cut the blank up, so I'm going to put them on waste blocks so I can maximise the amount of material to get the size handles he wants to get. So I'm just going to turn up a couple of rough sacrificial blocks on the lathe, so we should be able to do that after we finish this, if that's the case, but we'll see how we go. We've got a bit of time yet. Yeah, I mean, there is so, mate, but it's actually, when I keep working it, as long as I don't push it too much, if I keep working it, it actually feels better. It's when you stop that it becomes the issue, you know? Or when I go to my bed, and then it starts flaring up and throbbing and the pain, and but look, you know, see how we go, I'm always a glutton for punishment. It actually might be nice if might be nice to get maybe a couple of coats of CA on it tonight. I'll need to get the timber dry. But that's easy done just with spinning it in the lathe for a while and hitting it with a bit of methylated spirits. But at least I should be able to show you what it's going to look like, and I can even sit the cashmere knot on it and let you see what it looks like with a knot on it tonight. So you get a bit of an idea, a little bit of a teaser for you to come back tomorrow night. Only joking. But I'm happy with how this, you know, where the burl started, where the resin started and finished, and it looks really nice. It's a nice mix. Now the rhodium knots are a fellow down in Canberra. I use these knots in some of my handles, and I make handles for him, for his customers. So he'll put his knot in it and I'll make the handle for it. He does have a few brush makers that he does that with and fits his knots into their handles. So Surjan is the fella's name. He's based down in Canberra. And what he does is he buys the raw hair in from China, because that's where all the badger hair comes from. He's obviously got a special supplier, and he gets good quality, the best quality badger hair, and he brings it in and then he weighs it out and he ties his own knots. So he makes them really dense. They're very luxurious, absolutely beautiful knots. So if you are thinking of going down that path, then I'd keep saving your pennies until you can afford a rhodium if it's your first rhodium. And if you're not into badgers, they're just the best money can buy. They're beautiful. They look nice, they feel nice, they'll last you a lifetime. Brett's got, I think Brett's got a rhodium, and so has Razor, so you can speak to Razor and Brett about what they think of the rhodium knots. But like I said, it doesn't come at a small price. Yeah, exactly, Nigel. No shedding. I mean, you might lose the odd hair there, here and there initially, but nothing beyond that. Not that I've come across anyway. I mean, some of your better known brushes out there that have been around for a long time that they charge a fortune for, I mean, you hear about a lot of them having issues with shedding. I won't mention any names on here, but there has been a fair few. And that's the last thing you want when you're spending all that money on a knot. So I've dulled it down a little bit again there, guys, just drying it out, and I will go more with it. I want to hit it with some methylated spirits as well, just to, you can actually see that you know, the timber's saturated in resin just when I wipe it. It just wants to shine already. So I might just go through a bit of a drying with it now. I'll put a little bit of polish on the inside of that socket. Just a bit of the cutting polish. Yeah, you would have heard of them over your neck of the woods, Grey Dog, too, wouldn't you? Because I think I think he mainly used to go into Europe, Sir Jan. I think most of his brushes used to go into Europe. He is from, what country is it now? Oh, I forget what country it is he's from. But he's been in Australia a fair while too. But I think a lot of his knots do go over into the States as well. I mean, I know I've done a fair few for him that have gone over to the States. Might even drop a little bit on the outside here, just to like this thing goes down, I think it's about 5 microns. Yeah, I will one day, mate, for sure. I'm gonna make myself a rhodium. He's actually sent me up a couple that I've sort of says, right, send me up a couple of rhodiums, and he's sent me up a couple for me, but they've ended up becoming customer brushes. So, one day, mate. I'm probably still going to put, I'm probably still going to spend a little bit of time in here, because I can still see a few little rings in and around here that I want to get rid of. And then I'll probably end up painting some chameleon pigment on there as well, the green stuff. So I'll probably do that tomorrow, and then we can, you know, finish it all off tomorrow in the stream, in the beginning of the stream, and set the knot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a bit of a wipe out now with a little bit of methylated spirits, and then I might stick a couple of coats of CA on it. But you will get to see what it's going to look like with the methylated spirits on it very shortly. So that gives you a little bit of a look as to what it's going to look like. It's going to be very nice, and the bottle will darken up once we get the CA on it. So like I said, I might get a couple of coats of CA on it tonight, and then I think that'll probably do us, and I'll do the preparation to the rest of it tomorrow, and then we can part the bottom off, finish the bottom, set the knot on it, and that'll be our first part for tomorrow. So if you bear with me for a tick, guys, I'll just have to go and get my CA out the fridge. And I'll get a couple of coats on this. Alright, we'll get the activator out. We'll put that away again for now. I'll need to go and get myself another can of activator in a little while too. That's probably still about maybe half full, so it's got a bit in it yet, but we shall see how we go. Okay, so I'm going to slow it right down, probably about there. I'll get a paper towel ready. So we've got a little bit to go yet. It's 9 minutes past, so we're all good. Alright, a little bit of CA to get us started. Oh, I think my nozzle's blocked. Yep, nozzle's blocked. Oh, that's a bit big. I had a big chunk of hard stuff in the end, so I've taken the top layer off, but I've got a fairly big hole now, so I'll just need to be careful I don't put too much on in one hit. So there we go, there's the start of it. So if I stop that, you'll see the bottom section here compared to the rest, how it's shining up straight away. That's obviously because the timber is well and truly stabilised as well. So we won't need to put a lot of coats on this. I'll just give that a tiny spray, just to make sure that it's set before I go again. Now I'll put more in the hollow section here now. And in there. Yeah, she's starting to come up now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of a little drizzle in the V there, so we get the V covered as well. And then I'll need to go either side of that V just to make sure that we've got no run over. So there we go. Give that a little spray. And then we'll do the top section now. Again, not too much. Make sure that we've got it well rubbed in. And I don't know if that was water or glue. I think it was water. So now you can see we've got a bit of shine on the barrel. So she's starting to come into its own now. I did get a little bit of a drag mark there in the CA, but that'll sand out later, so I'm not too concerned about that. We'll be putting another couple of coats on it anyway. So I'll continue on at the moment. Now, I mean, if this was just an acrylic blank, you wouldn't be doing all this, because the acrylic blank will sand and polish up just nicely. But because we've got Burl on it, and the Burl is stabilised, but what you find is that the resin, it'll go into certain parts of the Burl more than others. So if you just polish that, what you would find is you'd find that if I was just to buff and polish the Burl, what would actually happen is the Burl then would have shiny spots and dull spots, because you've got different consistency of resin, and the parts that have absorbed more resin will they will polish up better, and the parts that have got less resin they go the duller way, because you're getting more grain, more timber grain than you are resin. So it's always best to put a finish over the top. Now, some people can spray finish, some people will put a spray finish on. I'm not a lover of the spray finishes, because I don't think they're anywhere near as good and as hard as the CA finish. And I mean, a lot of people use CA on their finishes, especially if they've been in wood turning for a long time. It is a technique though that takes a while to grasp it. Once you grasp it, it's like riding a bike, you know, it'll you never forget it type thing. But then you can change CAs as well, and see different CAs can react differently as well. Some are easier to apply than others. So you've got to find, there's a lot of variables, you've got to find what works for you, and then just, you know, stick to it. But it's, you know, some people really struggle with it. I mean, when I was doing the pens, I used to have people, when I had the pen shop, I used to have people would come over and I'd give them demonstrations in the workshop here, and show them how to actually apply. And, you know, they'd tried it at home and just couldn't grasp it. And I'd say to them, well, look, come over and I'll give you a little bit of a hands-on, and I'll show you how I do it up close and personal. And then they've actually done it here, and then from there on in, they've been fine. You know, they're able to put a CA finish on without any problems. But some people do struggle with it. So let me take you to that shot for a change, and well, the lights are catching it there, but she's a stunner, that's for sure. But I'll get another couple of coats on her yet, and then I can, that can be something else I can probably do tomorrow. I can probably give that its initial sand up, and then I can paint the chameleon inside the top part of the handle so that we're ready to set the knot in. And hopefully we can knock it over, and then I can turn a few sacrificial parts for Serjan's blanks. I don't know where he got these blanks, but they're actually quite nice. He probably brought them in from America or somewhere. When he buys blanks, he's very selective in his blanks that he buys. He gets a fair few. Well, he gets some from all over the world. I've actually turned some that he's had sent from, you know, overseas. These ones are definitely from, I think they're, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're from overseas. Lovely blanks, lovely blanks. But he's very selective, and he pays a lot of money for them. Yeah, you maybe see it. If I give you the top down shot again, you might see it better. Just let me go to the top shot for you, and I can zoom in a bit closer for you if that helps you to see what we're looking at. So don't worry about the thickness of the CA there, because that, and the ripples in it, because that's all going to get sanded off anyway. It'll be as flat as a tack once we're finished. So there's the edge where the burl meets the resin. And then if I turn it round, I mean, we've got a few smears in here because the CA's, you know, it needs sanded, so it's distorting it a little bit. And then when we get round to this side of the burl, you can see there's the natural edge of the burl, like the little mountains coming up inside it. And there's a few different colours actually in the chameleon. I'm actually getting different colours in it. I think there was 3 colours in this one. So predominantly green. But then there's a bit of like grey, and I think it's either orange or red. So I'm getting the light's reflecting off some of the parts inside. You can probably see it in the camera actually where it changes. There's sort of like a reddy orangey colour, and it's further up in the blank as well. So yeah, so it's actually very nice, and the colour comes right round the side here off those little mountain things as well. So yeah, it's really nice. Once it's fully sanded and buffed and polished, and it'll look pretty stunning, I reckon. But I'll just build up a bit. I was only going to put a couple of coats on it, but I'm here, I might as well put a few on it. And it will increase my chances of not sanding through it when I go to sand it. Not that it would really matter, because like I said, the burl is stabilised, but you can end up with dull spots and shiny spots if you do go through it. So that's all I'm doing at the moment, is really just building up layers of CA across to put a finish on the timber, and because of the heat generated by the CA, the CA actually fuses itself to the resin as well. So I'll go another few coats and then I think that'll do it for tonight, lads, because we're getting fairly close to that 2 hours and 20 minutes. Not that I'm watching time or anything, but I just don't think it's fair to hold yous on here for too long. And it'll give my wrist a rest as well. So hopefully it's good overnight, and then I can come out here tomorrow and do a little bit more on this, sand it, prepare the socket, and then all we've got to do tomorrow is cut it off the bottom, tidy up the bottom, CA the bottom, put a coin in. So you can see we're getting, you know, there's a fair few lines inside the socket here, but I'll get them, I'll spend a little bit more time on that later on. And you can see we've got a bit of a run there, so that's going to need to be sanded out. I just noticed that there before. So I'll probably end up sanding that now, but I'd say that's probably enough on the outside anyway. I was going to put a few more on it, but I'd say that'd be enough. If I need to put any more on it, I'll put it on tomorrow once I've sanded it all back again. And I'll probably get a little bit more on there actually. Just wipe that off. That was CA. So you can see that holographic in there as well. You can see the colour change there and those little mountain peaks inside the brush. So yeah, there's a fair bit of colour change in it. And I think, like I said, I think it'll look quite nice with the cashmere in it. Nice and bright, because the handle itself's nice and bright. So I'll leave it zoomed in at the moment, fellas, and I'll just, like I said, I'm just going to whack another couple of quick coats on it, just to make sure we have got a nice build up on it. And be sure to come back tomorrow to see the finished result, because I think it's going to be a bit of a stunner, this one. I might even just sit the cashmere knot in it just to let you see it with the knot sitting in it tonight. And we can make up our minds if we think the cashmere is the right way to go. I think it will be. I mean, that's going to go like glass once it's sanded. It's just you're seeing it a bit ripply at the moment. But that's going to go like glass, and this will be all cleaned up, and then it'll have the green chameleon put on there as well before we set the knot, and that just really finishes it off, you know, rather than seeing the knot in there. But we'll get another couple of quick coats on it before we call it a night. And we've probably put a lot more on it than I was originally anticipating putting on it, but that's all good. I mean, it'll just make a stronger finish, a stronger handle at the end of the day. Stronger finish for sure. Now I'm just going to put a little bit in there so that's getting dealt with as well. There's probably still a little bit on there. So that's the CA finish done. Obviously, like I said, I'll clean up in here tomorrow, finish that. You can see that chameleon, you can see the colour changing in there now. Obviously the light's catching it as well, but I can actually see it in through the handle. When we finish it tomorrow and I put the little 30-second video clip up on Instagram and my Facebook page, you'll get a better look at it too, because it'll be a lot clearer. And it shows you the brush the whole way around, you know. So I think that'll do it for tonight, lads. I'll just grab the cashmere knot and I'll sit it in there just so that you can have a quick look and see what it's going to look like with the knot in it, as long as I haven't reduced the size of the hole with the CA, which I might have done, because I will have to do a bit of sanding tomorrow. There you go. It's going to look stunning. So yeah, so I'll just get rid of I'll let you have a look at that. You can have a look at it from a different viewpoint as well. So there it's from that view. That probably is making the knot look bigger than what it actually is as well. Geez, I'll tell you what, it feels nice. Nice and smooth, plenty of backbone, but soft enough that it'll splay as well on the face. So just let me get rid of that subscriber button for you guys. Get rid of that. We'll be going to our end screen shortly. But yeah, that's really nice. You can see it there, full on in the headshot there, just down here. I'll leave it in the chuck because, like I said, I don't want to struggle getting it back on centre again, so we'll leave it in there and keep it on centre. I'll sand the main body of the handle tomorrow, finish the socket tomorrow. I'll probably try and do that prior to the stream, so all we've got to do is really part off the bottom, finish the bottom, set the coin and then glue the knot in. But I'll get the other parts done tomorrow before the stream, so we've got plenty of time to get this done properly, and then I can move on and turn. I've got 4 blanks, well I've actually got 2 blanks, but I've got to cut them up into 4 for Surjan tomorrow, and then I've got to mount each of those 4 blanks onto a waste block of wood which can go in the chuck to give me a holding on the chuck, and then that way I can use the full length of the blank, which is a short blank anyway, or shorter, but to get the handles that he wants. That'll allow us to maximise the amount of material. I think the music's quite quiet there, lads, is it? Or is it just a quiet track? Let me just get back to the chat there. Yeah, I think the tuxedo, I like because this is nice and light in colour, and that sort of blends with that nicely. If I put the tuxedo on, I think it's just going to change the look of it altogether. I think it won't really look that nice, I don't think. I don't know if the tuxedo will fit in because they've got a bigger glue bump on them as well, so it might not necessarily, oh, it should fit in. Yeah, there it goes. So, like I said, I don't think the tuxedo looks as nice. I'll go back to that shot for you. Yeah, I just don't think it looks as nice. Yeah, I think the music's quite low. Should be probably about, music should probably be about, maybe about there, I'd say. I think we're at the end of the track. I'll wait until we get to the end of that track and the music comes on again, just so I can see where we're at, because I'd like to get it set before I close the stream down tonight, so that I can actually save that. And then if I put a 2-band in there, see the 2-band looks okay, but I just want to try and get a couple of more synths out, you know. So I think the cashmere just looks really nice in it being really light. I think that having the 2 colours, I think detracts from the main handle itself. Just my opinion, but I'm open to other people's opinions. And then the boss knot, again, the boss knot's a dark knot, so I don't think the boss knot will look right in there either. There's the boss knot. To me that looks better than the tuxedo, being all the one colour. So, you know, that's another possibility. That doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. That's the boss knot. And then we've got, I don't have a Timberwolf out here tonight, but the Timberwolf wouldn't look right anyway because it's sort of grey colour, and this is going to look just as bad as the tuxedo in my opinion. So I think the cashmere is going to be the way to go, either the cashmere or the 2-band. But like I said, I'd like to give a little bit of variety and have a synth in this one. I've got another 4 blanks here, so we have got more to do. But I think this one, to me, the lightness of this and the light colour of the blank, to me, just looks nice. Now, the Plus Off wouldn't look nice either, mate, because it's got those 2 tones in it. That sort of sandy colour, and then the darker colour on the tips. I just really think that looks nice with the green, you know, the light green. I mean, I can see it probably better than you can as well. Let me just go back to that one for you. Let me zoom out a little bit on that. Like I said, it's all going to be sanded yet, but I just think that looks better all round than the multicoloured brushes. So I think I'll stick to my plan and stick with the cashmere, I think. So that's us for tonight, lads. We'll be back again tomorrow night. This stream was just a fill-in because I had technical issues last night, so I wasn't able to stream last night. So it's normally every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday night that I put a live up, and then those all go up onto YouTube, so you can replay them, watch them later on if you want, if you've missed bits and seen bits and missed bits. So yeah, so it's normally the 3 videos go up every week. Channel's been running for just a bit over 2 months or so now, I think. I think I've got about 40 odd videos up now, which are all sort of in the 2 to 3 hour range. So it's a lot of time being put into it, but yeah, it's working well. I'm enjoying having yous on the chat and that there, and yous are talking about like-minded things, and yous take a bit of interest in what I'm doing and what I'm making, which is good, and it just spurs me along to keep going as well and keep trying new things. I've got a lot of ideas that I've got to yet try, but we will get around to it. I'm still going to follow through on, I've got the silicone for it. I'm still going to follow through on making a fox burl. So the burl will actually be cast in a mould in colours that will be suitable, and then I can put clear, put it in another mould and then cast it with a clear, and we'll actually get a tint, and we'll actually get what we call a fox burl. There is people that have done it before, so it's not a first, but it's it's something that I'm going to try, and I think it'll look quite nice if I can do the colour mixes right for it. It'll just be something else, and it'll be an all acrylic brush then, an all resin brush as opposed to timber and resin. So especially for the larger badger hairs where they want to swell a lot more. So anyway, that's where we're going. So look guys, once again, I'll just go back to the main screen there. Thank you for joining me again in the workshop.